Hello everyone, I hope you're all doing really good today. I wanted to make this new video series that I will update, I think, once every month, called something like the Zero Waste Project or something like that. I don't know. I wanna eventually live as close to zero waste as possible because I care about the environment and earth and all that. And when I made my last video where I talked a lot about climate change and stuff, I know a lot of people think that they don't have any power in affecting climate change, and I want to make a whole video on that as well, like an encouraging, empowering video. But I talked to my friend who is 27, a bit older, and she has been through her whole youth activism, passionate about government and climate and all that before, and she told me, she said something like that she is not a vegetarian not because she thinks it's gonna affect the whole planet and she's gonna change the world, but just because for her it's the right thing to do. And I think that's the core of the thing, you know, when what you believe in, your values and your actions line up, I think it's so good for your health. So maybe it doesn't have to be about change, maybe it's just about the right thing, living through what you believe is the right thing to do, no matter if it makes an actual difference or not. And I think that is the core of what I want to encourage everyone to do. So what is this thing gonna entail? Basically, I'm gonna be measuring two things. One, I'm going to weigh all my trash in different categories, for example, metal, glass, paper, and plastic every single month. And I will have an Excel spreadsheet. Excel spreadsheets are so hard, you guys. I don't know why it's so hard for me, but I need to learn. Once I figure out how to do a good Excel sheet, I will fill in all that information and I will track that from month to month so I can see my progress and I will update it on you guys. The second thing I will actually share is also how much I spend on food. And I know that's a touchy topic because we all have different things, and maybe I will be oh, I actually spent a lot of money on food, blah, blah, blah. But I think it's a good thing to talk about because I've heard that people who do zero waste actually end up saving money, and I want to be able to track that as well. So obviously zero waste isn't only food, but I'm going to start with food because it is the biggest place where we have trash and stuff. So what I have done, I have bought a few stuff. First I went online and I found the zero waste food store in Denmark. It is on the other side of town, which is fun. It's gonna be a little bit of an excursion once a week or something. And I have bought all these little jars so that I can fill them up. I do not have those fabric bags yet, but I think I will just have to find a way. Then I also got a glass spice set. So obviously this is waste, you know? In the beginning when I get these, it's waste, but you can also get these, you can buy small jars at secondhand stores and all that. I should have done that. I don't know why I didn't, but here we are. I think it's hard because I'm going through a hard time. It's hard to think creatively, and I find it hard to make the right choices because your mind's sort of my mind feels like I'm underwater, I'm a cooked potato floating underwater in a chlorine pool, okay? And the second thing I got was a weight. This is so I can weigh the jars, because when I go to the store, you have to put on how much your jar weighs so that you know how much extra so today I will weigh I will clean my jars, I will weigh them, I'll put a sticker on how much the jars weigh and all that. And the last thing I got was I don't have a scale in my house. I think that's a weird thing to own, but I got a scale too because I don't know how much trash weighs, and I don't know if I should use the small one or the big one. So I have a lot of different size jars. I do have a few from before as well. So that's what we're gonna do today. I'm gonna wash them and fix that, and then I'm gonna go to that place and I will come back to you. This is going to be a monthly vlog update, so I will update you when I'm struggling. There's a few things I know is going to be hard. The biggest one that I need to find a solution for is my rabbit hay, because all the hay comes in plastic, and since I have 4 rabbits, there's just a lot of hay that I buy. And I know there's a few distributors in the UK that come in big carton boxes. That's obviously also waste, but it's still better. But then if you have to ship it from the UK, then there's the carbon footprint that you have to think about. And I don't know what is worse. I also want to remark that Denmark has one of the world's best systems for dealing with trash, trash burning systems. So I don't feel terrible as long as I like recycle, but zero waste is about not recycling and just not having any waste to begin with. I will link some videos down below that inspired me to do this. I have a couple friends that do zero waste, and I will talk to those as well to get inspiration and help and that stuff. But today is gonna be like a Kickstarter. I've been waiting to do this video because I have collected some trash so that I can weigh it. I'll do that when I get home. I won't do that now because the store closes in 2.5 hours. I hope this will inspire you. Maybe you want to do this journey along with me so that we can like update each other at the end of the month, and we can talk about our struggles and our successes in the comments. And I want it to be like a fun thing, you know, like, you know, a lot of people, I feel like, just like, oh, it's impossible, so I won't even try, you know? But if we see it as like this fun project, like, what do you possibly have to lose from trying something like this, you know? Like, it could only go a good way, because if you fail, then you've learned so much about yourself and experiencing new things, working in new ways, and maybe you'll take something good out of it anyways. So I just encourage you guys to do it along with me if you want to. I think it's gonna be fun. I think I'm gonna cry a bit. I think I'm gonna be mad, frustrated, and at the end of the day, I'm gonna be a better person. That's the goal. So let's just get started. I think I'll just insert some pictures from when I go to the store. I'm not gonna bring the camera with me. Maybe I could just film from my phone. People do that. A bit awkward. We're gonna do it like this. So it's Sunday evening, which means that for 2 weeks I have collected my trash. I don't know if you can see all of it, it's around me, and I'm gonna weigh how much it is, and I don't know if it's a lot or a little, but I've been trying to live like as normally as possible. I will do like this so that like my normal amount of trash is accurate, so I have something to compare it to. So every 2 weeks I will do an update. Hopefully it's gonna be like I don't even need to go out with the trash after 2 weeks, if you know what I mean. So I don't know if this is a lot of trash or a little trash. I don't know. You let me know if you're doing this project along with me, if this is a lot or a lot or a little. So I have my weight here. It is like a person body weight, so I don't know how accurate it is, but hopefully you can see such a big difference in the weight of the trash that it will be enough, because I tried it on the little weight and it can weigh how much these weigh, but the thing covers it so I can't see what it weighs. My balance is really bad. Okay, so let's get started. Trash. That's 1 kilo. Plastic. Now this is a stupid one. This is paper, and in Denmark you get these stickers that tells you if you want like advertisements and newspapers and stuff in your mail, and I've said no to that. I have that sticker, but they just give it to you anyways, and it fucking sucks. So this is the majority of it is that. Ooh, math. 2.6 kilograms. And then we have paper. It's a lot of paper that I have, that it's not compressed either. Okay, so I did some quick math, if you can call it that. So the total of trash that I have used for 2 weeks on average. I don't have any glass and metal here because I don't have any glass and metal trash at the moment, but I will at some point probably. I do have some jars, but maybe I'll save the jars. Usually I have some, but I don't have any at the moment. I guess I don't use that much of it. But my total trash for 2 weeks is 6.3 kilograms. So I think that's quite a bit. It's like what all my rabbits weigh together. Something like that. Not really, I think that's more. But I also estimated just to get an average of how much that is per year. It's probably more per year because there's some products and stuff that you only use like monthly or yearly or something like that. And it comes up to, without those things, it comes up to 164 kilograms per year, which is basically 3 Wilmas of trash per year. I think that's quite a lot. That is it. I will get back to you in 2 weeks on an update on how it's going and what my trash consumption, no, I don't consume trash disposal amount is at that point. I'm excited. It's gonna be fun.
2 weeks later.
Hi guys, it is about 2 weeks later. Actually, it's a bit more than 2 weeks later, but I still have got the trash from the last 2 weeks. I'll put the date of what the trash of these weeks represents on the screen if you're confused. So I think there's less trash, but considering I want to go zero waste, it's not exactly as little as I'd like. The rabbits are very excited that there's trash everywhere. So I hope you can see, this is the paper. Basically all of this paper, it's super annoying. It's going to be one of my 2 projects coming up. Is to see if I can eliminate all the commercials. Advertisements I get in the mail because it's so extreme. Like, look at this bunch of paper. Like, it's so much paper and it goes straight into the trash. So I'm going to do what I can to see how I can eliminate that. Then I have this is all my paper waste. And this is a subscription box that I ordered from the previous month. I did order pizza one day. Then we have the rest are book boxes and a few cartons of like tea and pretzels and stuff that I already bought from last month. And here is the new one that I didn't measure last time. This is, what's it called, metal and glass. I don't think it's going to be that much. And this is like, for example, the olive oil bottle. But now that I've gone to the zero waste store, I have like my own containers. So I won't be like measuring this for next month either. Then this is my regular trash. It's a bit bigger than expected. Also because I had to throw away a blanket, then my rabbits just chewed through and there was like nothing to save. If I had a bit more time, if I wasn't sick, I would take it to like the big garbage dumps and sort it with the textiles. But that's not happening at the moment. Then I have my plastic and I have put it into 2 different containers because this is my plastic and pretty much none of it is from stuff I bought this month. It's all like containers that I finished, except the caps on my oat milk. And then here we have the plastic for my rabbits. So much plastic from the rabbit food. There's not really much I can do about that. I will try to get in contact with the farm and see if they can ship out some of that, or I can pick it up on my closest farm or something. But it still will be like quite a big project. So if I have time and if it's possible, also because of Corona, you know, like it's difficult, I will do the advertisements, and this big bag of plastic would be great to get rid of. So some things, I could stop ordering online from Book Depository. Some of the cartons also come from, I bought secondhand books online. But I could just try to like support the closest independent bookstores, which I do when I can, but it's not always that they have books. And sometimes like it takes long for them to get the books in, but I will attempt to do that more in the future. So let's just weigh this shit. I do have loads of oat milk cartons that I haven't sorted here because in Denmark you can't sort it with the paper. You have to sort it with general waste, which is such a waste. So my mom usually takes them with her to Sweden, but I have counted those into my count, so I have already weighed them before I gave them to her. So let's get started with weighing this shit. Okay, so here's the depressing update. I only have 300 grams less, even though I've been trying to live zero waste for 2 weeks. So I will not despair yet. Everything was actually quite a bit less, like all the categories was quite a bit less, except the paper, which was 1 kilo more. And that's not even my fault. So I will definitely have to solve this problem because right now it's like my biggest weight in trash. I know most of the paper gets recycled, but this paper that I buy or get is just not recycled to start with. Just fucking irritating. I also don't think I will have any more metal and glass waste because I'll probably save the glass containers if I buy anything, and the metal was only aluminium from like takeout stuff, which I don't do anymore, so that should be eliminated. I think everything was like less, so in general I'm pretty proud of myself. I know there wasn't going to be a big jump because also a lot of the trash I had the last 2 weeks was from the previous weeks, but slowly like everything's just going away, you know, and it's been quite easy going to the zero waste store. I know I can't see like the progress right now, but I think in the long run there is going to be a huge progress and impact on like how much trash I expel. So right now I'm not being discouraged. It's a bit sad, but it's fine. I can move on. And my conclusion is that it's not as hard as people think. Like, I know I'm not completely zero waste, and because of the paper, like, I'm still not, but I would have been much less trash if it wasn't for the paper. And it's like, it's not as hard as you think. I think we just all have to be very cautious about why we buy stuff, and especially with the holiday season coming up, it is much better and thoughtful to make gifts yourself. You can you can cook something. You don't need to give like toys and that kind of thing. I know I used to collect a lot, and I know I have a lot of collections, but I don't do that stuff anymore, and I'm really trying to be more specific with why I buy something, because I realize that like a lot of my happiness depend on objects, and buying stuff is fun, it makes me happy, but it's not supposed to, and I don't think it's a healthy way to have that relationship to stuff and things, because you don't need them, and the fact is that the impact it has on other people, production, and the environment is just not worth your happiness. I'm sorry, it's not worth my happiness, because the happiness actually comes from something different, and I think we need to find that happiness rather than have it be from things. And I had never made tomato sauce in my entire life from scratch. Like, I literally always bought it in the store, which is insane. And now I started making my own tomato sauce, and guess what? It's even better than the one in the store, you know? And it's like, I never would have discovered that. So I think maybe it takes a bit of time in the beginning. Honestly, what takes most time about zero waste is this stuff, like weighing it and things, which you don't even need to do, you know? Like, it's just for me and for you guys so you can see the account of it. So yeah. So I wanted to do a little bit more of a formal wrap-up on this 1 month of November's Going Zero Waste project. I don't know what I will call it. So I wanted to talk a little bit, I know this video is already long, but I just wanted to talk a little bit about what I've learned and my realizations. And there's a couple of things I want you to take away from this. And I was just watching this live stream, Bookish Realm. I don't know her real name actually, but she did this live stream talking about like an update on the Black Lives Matter movement, and I wanted to kind of connect the things she was saying to climate change and activism. So I think that she was talking a lot about performative activism, and I wanted to touch on that a little bit too, because I see a lot of people, for example, buying being very proud of their straws, like metal straws. I'm like, that's good, but like, it's very minimal, and I don't really know, like, it's just, and then in the next one, they're like promoting some skincare product that's like in plastic bottles, and I'm just like, the plastic bottles from that skincare product is like way more plastic than like, you know, whatever. And I think just in general, I'm really starting to think about what is important. Is the consistency of your skin and hair worth like the plastic and the waste you're going to put into the world? And I don't see a world where climate change is less important than like how I present myself physically. Like, I think the level of things that I prioritize, my collections and these things, like they've way dropped because I feel like nothing compares to like the gravity of climate change. And the danger of this is that one, you can like hate yourself for all the things you already bought, and two, it becomes very much focused on this one activist thing, and then I don't know how much you need to think about yourself, but I think it's a good thing to like think about and consider. And that I wanted to share some products that I've bought that are sort of zero waste but like also not. I got this like Q-tips. It is in a plastic container, so like I don't know how good that is, but apparently you're gonna save, like if you just continue using it, it has like an unlimited lifespan. Can I open this box? It's like, why do they make containers that are impossible to open? Maybe I'm just dumb. So it looks like this. It's a cute little Q-tip, and it also came in the paper, so obviously like this is waste. It's called the Zero Waste Store. I think they're based in Germany. And also I got the Zero Waste shampoo, and then you can have like different, this one's for dry curly hair, which is pretty much mine, but this is also kind of like not the best option, because at the Zero Waste Store they have like liquid everything in containers, but at the same time it is more useful to buy these things in like hard soap is much more efficient for the environment, because liquid soap you use much more and it's much more waste that goes into the water. Then I also got this. I don't have it right here. It's called your Guppy Friend washing bag. There are so much plastic that goes in certain synthetic like clothing materials, and since I don't want to throw away my clothes because that's also like not good, and I still want to buy fleece sometimes, you can just wash them in this like, what is it called? It absorbs all like the microplastic from the clothing when you wash it, so it doesn't go into the water. I thought this was amazing. And the last thing I got is, no, I got two more things. I think these are just like this pads, and the funny thing is like these are so good. I don't know what it is. It's organic cotton, but I don't even need like makeup remover for them. And I haven't needed to buy makeup yet, but I will get to the point where I have to reconsider how important makeup is to me, and maybe I will want to sacrifice my climate change activist, I don't know, values for that. One thing that I also got that is very useful is a baking paper that's like many time use, that's the whole point. Baking paper that's many times used, you can use it a lot. Also what I learned, it's like you just have to be insistent and clear with what you want. Like if I go and want takeaway, I bring my own container. Sometimes I message the restaurant in advance and I'm like, hey, I do zero waste, I'm gonna bring my own containers, is that fine? Or you show up and I'm like, I need the food in this box rather than whatever takeaway container you have, or you go and just eat in the restaurant. So there's like certain things where I feel like you're a bit annoying in the beginning, but it's definitely like a good experience. And I also went to this sushi restaurant and they were just like, what? Why? Like, I don't think they understood anything of what I was doing. This was not everything I was going to talk about. I was going to talk about something important, but now I just talked about product. Anyways, what I was going to say is I feel like a lot of people do this, but then they don't do the work. I also use, but I've used that for like more than a year now, the period underwear, where you just wash them basically. And the thing is, like, it's very expensive, but after using them for 3 years, you get all your money back, and thinking about all the waste that gets saved is just like, so I was going to say gratifying, but that's the next thing I want to talk about. If you want to be an activist in anything, you can never expect to get rewarded. And I also got that from the video, the live stream I was watching, because I feel like we're living in a society where we want to get instant gratification and we want to get approval and we want to see results. And when it comes to working for the climate, like, you will never see a result, maybe not even your lifetime, which is a sad thing, but even if you do a lot, maybe you'll never get results. And I think it's like the thing where you have to do something just because you know it's right. And if you know it's right, you also have to do it, because I think it's very unhealthy for our minds to believe in something and then not act on it. I think it's not good for our mental health to have those like contradictions within ourselves. Like, I just think it's unhealthy. And I would encourage you to act on your beliefs, not only because like, we had this question in one class, in English class, our teacher asked us, is it your thoughts or reactions that defy you? And I think all of the class said thoughts, and I was one of the few that said actions. And it's because your thoughts don't really have any results unless you act on them and do something about it. And so thinking like, oh, I care about the environment, but then not doing anything about it, or I care about Black Lives Matter, but then not doing anything about it, it's like it doesn't really matter. And I think it's like a sad thing we humans want to believe like we are our thoughts because we think greater things than we do. Like, I always think I'm smarter and more eloquent than I actually am, and then I watch my videos and I'm just like, wow, I do come off as really dumb. That's just another thing. But so I think it's like you have to be, it's like you only do it not for the result, but for the importance of just doing it because it's right. And that is what I've learned. That's why I'm also like not disappointed in myself. Also, that was what I was going to talk about. There is no room for perfectionism in this. So perfectionism allows us to either do everything or nothing of something, you know? And I've talked to my friends about this a lot. Like, they want to know a little bit about politics because they want to engage in conversation, but as soon as it makes them feel dumb or they're inadequate in a certain subject, they pull themselves out, and then it doesn't really go forward because it's easier to not do anything than feel like you have to do everything, because everything is a lot and like no one wants the responsibility, and the fact is that you can't do everything. So I think it's better to just do what you can and be happy with do what you can. But it doesn't mean that you can't do better. I think like once, like for example, a couple of days ago, I've been sick for the last week, and a couple of days ago I didn't have any food. The zero waste store is on the other side of town. I do have a grocery store closer by, but I made the conscious choice of ordering Indian food. It came in a like plastic container, and that was a choice I make. And then as I made that choice, I know I was conscious of the choice, and then afterwards I didn't hate myself, because you can't, like, it's just not productive and a good thing if you do, because eventually what's going to be like, I'm going to be so sad that I failed, and then I'm just not going to want to continue because I'm going to be so buried by all this times I make mistakes in this thing. And I think there's no such thing as making a mistake or failing. Like, you just have to keep doing it. And this sort of mentality has actually really helped me in other things too, that like, if you say something wrong, or like, I don't know, it's okay, you just move on, like you learn from it, you move on. And I can just like sit with those feelings that I didn't feel good to order any food online, and it isn't so hard to go to the grocery store even if you're a bit sick. So, also it wasn't COVID, it was just a cold. Need to say that now. So what have I learned? Those are the things I've learned. I know this is a long talk, but I just feel like I will talk more about this. I hope you enjoyed this video. I will be doing one for every month, at least for a year. Can I keep up with something for that long? We will see. I wish you all the best. I hope you got inspired by this, and comment your thoughts down below, and I will talk to you guys soon. Bye!